Hey guys, it's Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Today we're going to take a look at, well, the beginning, the first half that is, of To Live Is To Die by Metallica. So we have this whole clean intro, which is multiple guitar parts, and I'm going to try to get them combined into kind of one playable part that'll sound pretty close. Obviously you can't do all the little slides and stuff since it's multiple guitars. So I'm going to do that, put that together for you, and then we're going through all the riffs all the way through the first main guitar solo, basically up to, I guess that would be the harmony guitar section. We're going to stop there and pick up there in the second lesson and finish up the song from there. So about 4.5 minutes of the song we're going to take care of today. All right, so let's look at this intro. So you can just get on a clean tone, maybe a neck pickup or whatever, and I'm kind of putting these parts together here. So obviously it fades in. So we're going to start here with this though. Let me turn the volume up. It sounds better that way. So it sounds like this. So what I'm doing there is so let's just do that much of it here. So we're going to start here with an E minor chord. We have the low E string, and we're going to bar across 3 strings here at the 12th fret. And then the 14th fret there on the D and the 15th fret, the 14th fret on the A string as well. So we have that. Kind of hit that a couple times and then come down to the melody. There's a little difference there. So we have this. Now, when you're doing this melody, you can have the G string and B string open. So it's just 7 a couple times, 8, 7, 10 on the high E string with the G and the B string with it. Or just the open B if you want. And then what you're going to do is hold a bar across the 7th fret of the B and the high E string. So you're going to play those 2 notes together and do a hammer on at the 10th fret on the high E, then pull back off. So we have this. And then grab the B minor chord, bar chord of the 7th fret. So what they do here on this chord is just basically strum across and then pick it. And a little bit different each time, but it goes. So it's just picking 6, 4, high E, 2, and then it's 6, 4, 2, 3, 1. So it's not that hard to pick up. So we just have this so far. And then you can come back down to the B string if you want. And then we have, so you're going to grab this melody note right here, 10th fret on the high E string, and then you're going to bar across the 7th fret there, across the first 4 strings, 1, 2, 3, 4, but you can have this on top with the open A string. And then we have this little. So that was kind of Hendrixy. So we have this. We're doing a bar at the 7th fret still, and then we just have this. You pick the G and the B string together, and then add the 8th fret there on the B. Then back down to 7, and do a quick little hammer pull between that 7 and 8. We have this. Then over to the 9th fret there on the G string. So we have this. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to jump up here. Really, there's multiple guitar wires there. It's just trying to, a little awkward because we're trying to do them all at once. So we have 9th fret there on the D and the G. Play those 2 notes together, then play 11 on the G with that 9th fret on the D. And then when you go back to the 2 9s, you're going to now add the 12th fret on the high E. And I'm muting that B string in there. So that's the most difficult part here. Then hit the low E open. So we have this so far. Then we have this. It starts over. So just, you can let the low E ring out while you're doing this. Slide into 9, then play 7 on the A. Then, I like to pick these, hybrid pick these, with the, the bottom note with the pick and then the top note with my middle finger. So we have the 9th fret on the G, 8th fret on the B. Pick those together, then 7 on the G, 7 on the high E string, twice. Slide into the octave here, which is sliding into the 9th fret on the G and the 12th fret on the high E string. So we have this. And then you're going to jump up and start over. All right, so you continue to do that whenever you feel like stopping. Then we jump over to some distortion, and you're gonna have this little build-up chord. It's the open E power chord. Remember, we're in standard tuning here. Heavily palm muted, just doing all downstrokes. Then we have the main riff start. Sounds like this. All right, pretty simple stuff for Metallica at least. So we have the power chord there at the 2nd fret, twice, and you're gonna mute the strings and do a down up. And then we have this, muted open E chord, open E power chord, 2, up to 3, and open up the chord again, just not muted. So we have this. More down, up, mute there. Pick, slide down to 2. So we have this. Start over. This time though, jump up to the 5th fret from 0 to 5. And then 5, slide down to 3. Pick 3, slide down to 2. So, and then start the whole thing over. So this, nice and slow. Then you're gonna hear them pick that up a little bit, pick the tempo up a lot actually. It sounds like this. All right, so that's just, so we have this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then up to the 3rd fret. So it's all downstrokes. Then 2, 2, then 3, then 2, then 5. So this. Repeat. All right, and then this, which is just 2, 3, 2, 5 again, but it's just muted 2, then open 3, muted 2, then open 5, I guess. Open meaning not muted. Then we have this little, so that's just 2, 3, 2, 5, just single note, heavily palm muted, 2, 3, 2, 5. So repeat that. And the very last time, you're just going to hammer 2 to 3 twice. So we have this. And then we're back to the riffs again, starting over that main riff again. Now, as he does that, they do that a few times. We have a little octave solo that comes in and sounds like this. All right, so this is an an octave here, starting at the 9th fret on the A string and the 11th fret there on the G. So you're going to mute that D string in the middle, pick those notes, slide down to 4, then 2, 4, 5. So that's where the first finger's at, by the way. 2, 4, 5, 2. So this. Then back to 2, then 2 to 4, slide, pick it, and then down to the first fret, and then end it with an A power chord. So we have this. Then just repeat that. All right, now they changed the feel a little bit with this kind of cool little groove riff. Sounds like this. All right, so that's a little bit different. So we start with the still kind of just all power chords. Low E string, 2nd fret there, twice palm muted. Open A power chord, back to the 2nd fret power chord once. Then jump over here to the power chord off the 3rd fret of the A string, then 2. So this. Then back down to the 2nd fret power chord with low E. Pause, then open A power chord. So we have this. Back to the 2nd fret of the low E string. Then we have those little down ups again there, and then it's just the power chord off the A string, 4, 3, 2. So that's the main riff. That's the whole riff. They repeat it and they just add one little difference to it. But let me play it one more time. Now we're going to repeat. But now in the pause, you're going to go down, up, down, a little muted. And then we're back to the normal. A. So altogether, both versions of it. All right, so from there, that was at the 2-minute and 31-second mark, by the way, if you want to know where that riff's at. Now we have the first main guitar solo, I guess. It's a pretty simple melody. It sounds like this. All right, and then they quickly go back to the, which leads into the main guitar solo. So let's take a look at this. This is the 9th fret there on the G string. Bend and release, whole step bend and release. Then 11 on the D to 9 on the A. Same thing now, 1 fret high, 1 fret higher. Then back down to the 9th fret, same look again. Then slide up to 12. Pick 12 again and do this. So that's just hammer 12, 14, pull back off to 12, slide down to 11, then hammer 11, 12, pull off to 11, down to 9. So we had this all together. Then you just repeat that again. Then it goes back into that, back through those same riffs. All right, so we continue with same riffs and we get to the main guitar solo. So let me play through this real quick for you and then we'll break it down phrase by phrase. All right, so that leads us back into the harmony part, which we'll take a look at in the next video. So let's take a look here. We're going to start with the oblique bend. Cut that delay off for you. So that's bending, you're holding the 17th fret there on the B string, and then bending the 16th fret. And I'm doing the hybrid picking again. So I'm picking the G string and then using my middle finger to pick the B string. And then that's just 14, 16, 14, 16, back to 14 on the G string there. Then we have this. That's just 17, 15, 14 on the B. Then 16, 14. Then 16, 14 on the G. That does 16 on the D string. Then back up, 14, 16, bend and release, 14 to 16 on the D. So it's big. All right, now we have a lot of similar licks. They're slightly different. First one. So that's 16 on the D. Then 14, 16 on the G, pull off to 14, over to 16, then, oh sorry, don't bend it like that, 14 and 16, so. All right, next one. So that's just 14, 16 on the D, 14, 16 on the G, then release, and then pull off to the 14, then 16 on the D, back to 14, back to 16. So it's easier just to kind of watch it. So we have this. All right, from there. So that's just now 14, 16 on the D and on the G. And when you get to that 16 on the G, you just bend and release, back down to 14, and repeat that 4 times. Then the bend of the 17th fret on the B string. And then that same little descending lines, 17, 15, 14 on the G, 16, 14 on the G, 16 on the D. And this time, you're going to back up to the 16, pull off to 14. So it is. All right, so that part of the solo is probably the hardest one to get memorized because they're all very similar, just kind of these little simple bluesy licks. All right, from there, it gets a little bit easier to memorize. Sounds like this. All right, so we have 14, 16 on the A, and on the D, you're hammering on, and on the G. And then back to the 14 there. So you do that a few times. And this time, the third time, when you make to the 16, then you're gonna grab a double stop, the 16 on the G and the B together. Kind of grab them and pull them, hit them both strings, pull down to the floor and release. Down to the 14 on the G and the B. So we have this. Did like 4 times and a couple of bends there, the 17th on the B. All right, now we have this phrase. All right, so we have what I'm doing is I'm heavily palm muting here, 12-14 on the low E, and then 12-14 on the A string. Now, from there, that's pretty much the only ascending notes, I'm sorry, you're gonna do. Then we start the pattern. Now the pattern is 2 descending notes each time. So we have 14, 12, down, up, 16, 14, and then 14 on the D to 16 on the A. Over to 16, 14 on the D, and then 14 on the G, 16 on the D. So it's a descending pattern that is ascending through the scale. So we have this. And when you make it all the way up, we're gonna hit those double stops again. It's 16 on the G and the B together twice, down to 14 double stops, and over to 16 on the D. So you're gonna repeat that. All right, so from here, and we have this phrase. So that's pretty cool. It's going to be a bend at the 16th fret on the G string. And when you get to the bend, you're going to grab 17th fret on the B string. It's going to pull my guitar out of tune here because it's a floating bridge. So we have 16 bend, and then grab 17 on the B string. Then a bend again, and grab the 17 on the high E string. So you're always grabbing the 17th there on the B, then high E, and then B again, and then pick the 16th fret and release the bend. And we're going to start this little chromatic, more of a bluesy thing. So that's 16, 15, 14 on the G string, then same thing on the D, and 16, 14 on the A. And then we're going to do 16, 15, 14 on the D, same thing on the A, down to the 12th fret on the A string. So we have this. Then we jump to the cool tapping lick. Now the easiest way to jump into this, you're here, don't switch the pick, just tap with your middle finger here at the 19th fret on the B string, and what you're gonna do is go tap, pull off to 14, and then pull off to 11. So do that. And then move everything up 1 fret to the 20th fret on the tap, and then 15, pull off to 12. So you're doing it twice, then move up, then repeat. And now just do each one of them once. So and then you have your pick ready to go for this. And that's just tremolo picked going up the scale. 14, 15, 17, 19, 21, 22, and a couple of bends there at the 22nd fret. All right, so let me demonstrate the last phrase in the solo. I think when I did the performance of this, I might have gotten a little overzealous and thrown in some octaves that weren't actually there. So I'm gonna show it to you guys the right way. So let me just play for you this ending section and we'll take a look at it. It's pretty simple, pretty similar to what we did earlier. So it looks like this. And that leads us into the harmony section, which we'll take a look at in the next video. So let's take a look at that. So we've done this before earlier in the song. But he's going to jump back here and play this quick little fill. This is where I did some octaves or something like that, but in the performance. But the actual fill is this. So that's what Kirk Hammett actually plays. So it's going to be pull off from 9 to 7 on the A string, over to 9 on the low E. Then he moves that up to the 10th fret. Then we go back to the 10th fret to do that same lick as before. And then we're going to go back and do the same lick we just did, except we're just going to end it when he gets to the 9th fret on the low E. So we're not going to move it up to the 10th fret. So we have this. And then it's the same as before. That we did earlier in the song. Then you repeat exactly what I just showed you. And then when it starts the third time through, it's going to do this. All right, so that's that lick at the 9th fret. Then straight to the 10th. Then to the 7th. And then the 12th. And then just get a little hammer pull there between 12 and 14 on the A, down to 10. And that'll take us into the harmony section. And we'll take a look. We'll start the second video and finish out the rest of the song with that harmony section. I'll see you then.